Welcome to Bold Talk series where creativity, leadership, ideas, and innovation come together. My name is Epi Ludvik, and today I have a privilege to have a short one-on-one conversation with Murat Soysal, CEO and co-founder of Segmentify, a customer engagement platform using machine learning to personalize the e-commerce experience in real time. Murat, great seeing you. Welcome to our Bold Talk series. How are you?
Hello, Epi. Thanks for having me. I'm all right. I'm quite good, actually.
Great. Well, good to hear that, Murat. And let's dive in with this conversation. I was looking forward to it. I was looking at your profile. I thought it'd be really nice for first give us your background. You spent over a decade in public networks and research infrastructure before founding Segmentify. What's one lesson from that world that still shows up in your decision as a startup founder? Tell us about like Segmentify, like how that evolved to be where the Segmentify is today.
Yeah. My previous role, as you mentioned, I used to work as a researcher in National Research and Education Network in Turkey. And there I managed multinational, multi-million euro funded, multicultural projects, adds up to hundreds of people. The key lesson from is to find out the best way to make your team work in a harmony when they have different languages, different cultures, different time zones, different locations. It was quite valuable when actually the calendar was 2003, 2005, 2010. But after COVID now, I think most of the people got used to working from abroad in a multinational environment. Regarding Segmentify, yes, after leaving the academia, I founded Segmentify with my co-founder Ergin. And we help e-commerce companies to grow more by using our AI-based algorithms. I used to work on such algorithms when I was doing my research, developed multiple algorithms meanwhile. And now we are employing these algorithms under Segmentify, which became even more richer during the last 10 years. And these algorithms provides the capability for the e-commerce companies to convert more visitors into customers, to make those customers spend more in means of the average order values for themselves. And also, again, call those customers or visitors back with channel communications like the emails, SMSs, WhatsApps, and just which means increase the lifetime value for e-commerce companies.
Yeah. Was there a moment when you realized that machine learning could do more than process data, that it could shape the actual shopping experience that we're doing with Segmentify?
There were multiple points, Epi. And as you can imagine, this is a 10-year-old journey for me now. Initially, we started where we know best, which is the product recommendations. Lookalikes, customers who bought this also bought this. I'm sure most of the listeners are familiar with the famous stories from Target, where mainly the diapers were mainly purchased by the beers, where the new dads started to drink actually. Those kind of unexpected relationship between products. This was the early days of Segmentify, where machine learning used to help us a lot. Then we started to learn more about the real-time problems of our prospects or customers. For example, for shoe sellers, return is an issue because people mainly do not know their sizes. So they order two different size of the same shoe, sometimes three, and return one or two back. So they try at home actually, those shoes. That is a real world problem. And the cost of returns are quite high for the e-commerce companies. Then we needed different algorithms. Or again, I didn't know 60% of the men in the world wear number 9 shoes, or another 55% of the women wear small size t-shirts in Europe. So if a product doesn't have small size available, actually it is kind of labeled under stock or out of stock, even though the other sizes are in stock. Yes, you want to sell them, but if it is a fast fashion retailer, it's a problem. So the more we face with real world problems in the e-commerce world, and e-commerce is being evolved every day, new problems appear, then you need to deploy new algorithms. And lucky enough, I'm sure everyone is following closely the recent changes in the AI world. There is a huge debate now. It's a war, actually, different AI providers in the world now. The AI is being transformed, which transforms our business as well.
Yeah, really good way. You mentioned about the shoes itself. I remember, and I'm not sure if you read his book, Tony Chef from Zappos.
Yeah.
Zappos, yeah. And when he launched his book, and I was involved in that at that time, it was amazing to see, like at that time, how he started that business and the shoes all selling online. And I can imagine even today that's also an issue. But back then there was no algorithms. Today, at least you have some algorithm where you can prevent a lot of that thing. But this is truly interesting because, you know, you have this kind of data and you have these patterns, and now you can have much more prediction, much better prediction in terms of what type of product you should stock and what size and everything else. So this is a really incredible way of doing it. Now, I was researching your profile, Murat, and I was looking at there something that you do, and you often talk about this 1% conversion challenge in e-commerce. Tell us that a little bit about that, and what was that first time you saw the Segmentify actually moves the needle with this type of methodology?
Yeah, exactly. Those percentages changes from country to country, even vertical to vertical. If you are selling books online, if you are selling some smartwatches or high-end watches, those numbers differ. But simply the conversion rate is the number of purchases happening in your website in a certain time divided by the number of visitors. So how many of the visitors coming to your web page, landing to your web page, actually makes a purchase. So if this is an offline store where the traditional commerce used to happen, you see sometimes 20-30% conversion rates because people get into the shops, sometimes for analyzing the prices, yes, sometimes for window shopping, but mainly in the need of buying something. You never go to, let's never say never, but mainly if you get into a supermarket, at least you know what you will buy. You know, you will either get a water if you are not in your shopping mood, but you buy something from a supermarket. So it is above 90%, let's say, for the conversion rate of the purchases in the supermarket stores physically. And also in the supermarket websites, the conversion rates are higher. Because again, you don't go to a supermarket website and just check the prices of your shampoo. You go there and you buy it. But you visit a lot of fashion stores, you visit a lot of do-it-yourselves to make some price analysis before you buy, check the products. Or the conversion rate in an online car seller, let's say Tesla, is also quite low because it takes 90 days at least for an individual to make a decision to buy a car, for example. But anyway, the overall average they say is around 1 to 3%, which means let's say 5% happy. 100 people lands to your website, only 5 of them makes a purchase. There are multiple questions. You can ask why these 5 people buy and why those 95 people actually don't buy from your website. How many of those 95 people will come again? So in their decision making process or just landed to your website from an ad which they were not intended to, or they came, they found nothing. There are multiple reasons underlying in that conversion funnel. Those 95 people actually didn't buy this time. What we can do, make them come again. So which means during that process of them visiting your website, we need to ask enough questions. We need to get enough fingerprints or traces, which means clicks, add to baskets. If we can get one input for the search, for example, that is awesome because they tell what they are looking for. They can just look for a red dress, or they can say, okay, I want to buy a present for my girlfriend. Even now, the search is being transformed. They can talk to your website, and then you can identify the needs of these customers. All these traces they leave on the website is actually used by our tool to make a micro segmentation of this customer. We try to understand what they need, when they need, how much they're planning to spend. If this is a size-based website like a fashion store, what is their size? Or are they planning to buy something by themselves or somebody else? All these metrics actually makes an individual in our site as a point in the universe, and every single action we are taking to get them back if they didn't buy. And if I call you back, I need to make a valid proposition to you. The product you are interested is in a discounted phase, or is the most common thing your 5% discount or £10 discount, £5 discounts for your first purchase. But if you search for something and didn't find it, now I need to understand what can I better offer you. As if you were in a physical store, you go there, if you ask a question, they never leave you. They just try to sell you something. That is what we are trying to do in an automation phase, and imitating those capable physical individuals, the salesmen on the stores. We try to bring their assistance to the online environment, actually.
Interesting. The world is changing fast. I'll come to the personalization part, but before that, I was just thinking about how fast the world is changing, and we are now at this time and age where we will have these agents who will do the shopping for us. How are you preparing for this transition? There's going to be I truly believe that an average person in the very near future will have at least 5 agents doing stuff, doing chores. And how are you preparing for that?
It's very hard to get prepared because still I think it is evolving.
Mhm.
You can make the predictions where it will end up. And I'm seeing this in two folds. One, it is a big advantage to us. Talking to those agents is much easier because they are actually machines still, and we have the machine to make the decisions. Machine
So
to machine.
humans are more complex than machines.
Exactly, 100%. 100% more persistent from the machine side. It is very tough. But from other side, it is a threat as well. Tools like us. First of all, those machines will have the capability to check where your famous or favorite olive oil is in a discounted price. Because we try to identify when Epi will need the toothpaste next. And if he's on the website and if he forgets and if we think he is almost out of the toothpaste, we try to help Epi buy it. Say he doesn't buy it from somewhere else when he's in need, in urgency. Or I try to sell the toothpaste I want to sell to you, which is more in profit margins. And that agent question is quite, if you ask me, related to those profits because when I started first, everyone wanted to sell more. Nobody was talking about profits. We want to grow, revenue, more transactions. Okay. And I was asking my customer candidates, can you please provide me the profit margins for every single product? Because I'm making a decision here. What I should offer to this visitor. If I know your profit margins, I can actually highlight the products because at the end of the day, customer makes a decision from the taste, yes, but price point of perspective, but they don't know your profits. And if I know your profits, I can help you to increase your profits. Now, after 10 years, now everyone is talking about profitability. And these automations and agents actually brings the optimization of the time for the owners of the agents and optimization of the budget. Now, from the retailer's perspective, I want to do the same and I want to communicate with these actually agents that we can both win because you can still pay the same amount of money as the buyer and I can still make the same amount of money with more profits. So at the end of the day, the amount of money ending up in the pocket of both sides will be higher. So I can be a sustainable business. So I can serve you more. That is the ultimate aim at the end of the day. Optimization is a good thing from that perspective, but whatever parameter you want to optimize with these automations, with these agents, is the matter.
Yeah. Good point. So, talk about personalization. Today, it's often treated like a tech feature. I would say how important that is for you, and how important it is to bring bring that personalization and a whole entire customer journey all the way to not just purchase, but also as a part of a follow up and going to the second purchase onwards.
Again, with these new advanced versions of AI algorithms we have available in the market, it is much easier to dream more about this. Because when we were working with eBay, they had around, I think, less than 10 million products, but around ish 10 million products available on the website. Number of visitors were around 50 million. So we were doing a personalization at the scale of 50 million visitors for 10 million products. So imagine the complexity of the process. But it is important when you have that variety of products. If I know your toaster size, I can actually make a prediction about the size of your family or how much you eat bread, about your weight. If I can correlate your toaster size with your washing machine's capacity, if it is a 9 kilogram or an 11 kilogram washing machine, then I can really estimate the size of your house. So for your next bed purchase, I can better bring a king size bed or even queen size bed for you rather than spending time for those smallish beds. Again, personalization in the scale is not only selling more, but also making this journey easier for the visitors. And people tend to actually come again if they feel safe, if they feel like, okay, whenever I come to this website, they know me and they provide me the best service. Again, before e-commerce, we had the retail and people tend to go to the shops that they feel safe. They had a good relationship with the salesman or the owner. And if they know each other, they can actually better bring the products when they know. Even when you buy products to sell from your suppliers, you can use those personalization capabilities. This is a very good approach from one hand, but also there is some security issues now. Everyone wants to be feeling safe with their data. So If it is over personalized, Epi, then you can also kind of freak your visitors and customers. How do they know me well and what they could do with this data? So you should keep the balance at a specific point and not to overstep to the personal lives of your visitors or customers. And that decision point is critical. We are also spending a lot of time on that one, not to scare the visitors of our B2B customers.
Yeah. And what about so you have this incredible amazing data, user experience, engaging and understanding from the toaster you mentioned to the size of the washing machine and all of this. How important is any gamification in this type of engagement? If there is, how are you doing it with your platform?
Very good question. Very good question. This is one of the things actually we were not so successful to disseminate within our customer base or prospects, because as one of the developers of those algorithms, I am a big believer of still the communication. Rather than trying to predict, rather than trying to rely on the algorithms, can we please directly ask to the visitor, hey, Epi, why you are here on this website today? Why you are picking up this jacket? What is the occasion, mate? Are you going for a date? Are you going to a wedding? Or this is a casual day use? I can ask this. Now I try to do it with all the algorithms. I think 6 years ago we launched a product called Customer Journey. So asking those 4 or 5 questions, and I think it was coming from one of the cosmetics companies, famous ones. They were trying to predict the skin sensitivity, how oily of the skins of the visitors. Rather than trying to predict it from the products they are visiting, why don't we ask? Let's ask. And if you ask in a nice way, if you can do it with multiple clicks, with a tool like Segmentify on your website, so you don't need to go to your tech team to develop a kind of journey, but put Segmentify a couple of questions, tell the customers why you are asking this, and then the key is, Epi, the answers you get, immediately feed it to your algorithms. So this is called kind of a semi-supervised machine learning. Yes, it is learning still, but it is supervised by either you or directly by the consumer. Hey guys, I don't have any hair on top. Yes, I need a shampoo that I want to get my gray hair back. I can tell this to you. Or my skin is not so sensitive to sun, but I'm feeling I just moisturizing my skin plus little bit ultraviolet protection I need. Can give these details immediately, then I can get a bunch of product recommendations from the website if they have structured data. So I agree. That is part of gamification. So why I give this data? Give me a fortune wheel. Just click me free delivery. Give me a 20% discount if I buy two of the same product. That is part of the gamification for sure.
Yeah. Uh, Very good point. I'm enjoying this conversation. I'm learning a lot too. But this is a short format podcast, and we'll have to end it here. Always ask. This is the last question to all my guests, Murat, and the question is: what does the word bold mean to you?
Bold.
Bold. Yeah.
I think I'm an entrepreneur. So this is a bold move just to launch a company from nothing. So my everyday life and my entrepreneur spirit is the feeling that I just get into my mind when I hear the bold. This is a bold move. We try to transform our lives initially, first as the founders, then our team members, our customers, our competitors as well. So waking up every day, trying this scale up to go into the path that we want to go is the bold move for me. So bold is just wake up and keep going, my friend.
It's way to end. Great way to end, Murat. Thank you for being here with me. Hope you're having a great summer, and looking forward to reconnect again after that time. Be great and be bold always. Take care.
Thank you very much.